Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is up, Marvel fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Carbonite Convos podcast. Today, this episode is recorded on Thursday, July 14th, 10 days after America renewed their freedom from England and about 200 years. I did have to look at the date, unlike last week, but we are super excited to be recording this episode because we had a Marvel movie come out, I can't say they're few and far between because they're coming out like Skittles now, but
taste the rainbow.
Taste it. But I'm super excited to talk about this because we had Thor. If you know me, I dressed up for Thor a couple years ago for Halloween. It was a fun time. But we are super excited to talk about Thor Love and Thunder. It's been a little overdue, so if you've been waiting for it, which you probably haven't been, we appreciate you waiting this long for.
Better late than never.
Exactly. So Alec and I are talking about Thor Love and Thunder tonight. Yeah, we're just gonna get into it. It was a good movie.
I very much enjoyed it.
Regardless of what the quacks at Rotten Tomatoes say, screw them. Alec, let's hear some. I don't know. Do we have any more opening lines that we have to read? I don't know.
No, not really, man.
No, let's just get into it.
Let's just roll. Let's just get into Love and Thunder.
We're not corporate. Screw them. Let's do it.
Something I did want to say is we happen to both be wearing baseball shirts. I specifically wore this shirt because this is the last pod before the MLB All-Star game, which is always a wonderful event to watch. We're big baseball guys. So if you're new, we talk about it sometimes, not too often, but here and there, but we love it so much. Anyways, Thor Love and Thunder. Okay. I have heard
that was a good transition.
I have heard some takes
negative. Yeah, same.
What's unfortunate about this conversation is the takes, and not in like a hateful way by any means.
Let me they're not unwarranted.
Fair.
Like, they're not unwarranted. I feel. Go ahead.
If you believe a certain way in certain things, and I'm not talking. I just want to let I'm not talking about the sexual stuff in the movie. That's another conversation we'll have. That's part of this. That's part of this conversation and topic. But the cringiness and jokiness of what Thor has become, I understand why people feel that way, but my thing is, bro, what did you expect? Like, after Ragnarok, Taika Waititi was like, this was a hit. I'm going to do it again because people loved it. And I'm going to do it even bigger.
I get that. Also, following What If.
That's what made correct. That's what made Ragnarok great, in my opinion, was because of the character development of Thor. I'm seeing him at the highest of highs, to then the lowest of lows, to then him realizing that he's not all that special. Yeah. And it's just him being who he is, who he truly is. He says it himself. He is not a king. He is. What does Frigga tell him in Endgame when he goes back in time and he's like, I'm not a king or whatever, and she says something to him.
Frigga is not an Endgame. You're drunk. Just kidding. I'm drunk. But
yes,
Frigga,
I'm like,
Frigga is not an Endgame, bro. She is not.
Yes, she is.
I am drunk because I am thinking that when you say Frigga, you're talking about Lady Sif. So pardon my take.
You're
exactly right.
Talking about his mom, man.
You're exactly right.
Anyways,
Frigga.
So he's becoming who he really is, and with time, and especially spending time with the Guardians, he's gonna be an idiot. Like
No, going off that, you said, and I feel bad because I made an idiot ass take, but Frigga says to him, paraphrasing, you have to stop being what people expect of you and become what you're meant to be.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to think of.
Yeah. And, he was always destined to be a king, which is fine, but he's not the king, which it's great that he has realized that. It's like, I have someone to take that mantle, which please don't let me forget about Thor's kingness. let's get back to that. She says, you have to be who you are. All of us in our lives deal with expectations, everybody, but our expectations don't define us. That's the thing about being human and about humanity. Regardless of what I love my parents. I love everybody around. I love everybody around me. I don't. Some people suck, but there are a lot of people that expect certain things out of you. It's not what people expect, regardless of if they expect nothing from you and if they expect the highest from you. It's not about that. It's about what you truly are, what you bring to the table, who you are as a person. And I feel like what it seemed like you were getting to, that's what we got out of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. Did we get a little too much joking? Yes. And that's part of the review. The conversation of this is, did I feel like there was too much joking at certain points? Yes, especially in, I'd say, the first 45 or so minutes, like maybe the first third. I felt like every other line was a joke. And I feel like that's the overwhelming majority, is that everybody felt like it was so goofy. One, what did you expect? Like you said. But two, it's like you have to look past that. That's what we knew coming into this movie. We knew it wasn't a multiversal film. We knew we weren't exploring a groundbreaking Marvel story. We knew that. It was a Thor story. There was going to be a villain. The villain
Speaking of which, Christian Bale was fantastic.
Yes. There was going to be...
Continue.
No, we'll get to that too. There was going to be a villain. The villain was going to be defeated in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just meant to enjoy. And I feel like Marvel fans and, the population in general, because Marvel's branched out far more than just people who like Marvel comics. People expect too much, and you can't blame them, because that's what Marvel has trained us to expect. We go from Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, all this stuff where you have 30 superheroes. They're defeating. It's literally the fate of the universe is at stake. Like, we've driven the fan base to this point, but at some point you kind of have to step back and realize there are still individual stories to tell. And although Thor has had that up to this point, he's the only one from the original Avengers that we can expect that from the future. Like, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Like, I love Thor.
I'm glad to see him back in shape.
Yes.
I thought
retweet.
I was happy with the training montage, because
Were you?
I was, honestly, because it added on to that cringiness level that we fans literally said, why was there not a training montage in sometime during Endgame?
Yeah.
That Thor got fit really fast or something, and it was like super badass. But when would he have had time to do that?
No, not an Endgame. It can't happen.
No way. There's absolutely no chance. But I'm glad they did that. To me, that was an homage to the fans. I think that was done intentionally.
I think after seeing the previews, I feel like I thought going into it that the training would be part of the story, which it really wasn't. Which, after seeing it, it was a 2-hour movie. Do I think we could have explored a few minutes of him going through something, trying to get in shape? Yes. But I think after the trailers, I expected just more of Thor trying to get in shape. And, it's clear within the first 2 minutes that you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. By the time you hit the 3-minute mark, Thor is cut.
Mm-hmm.
During
the training montage, it's Korg telling a story. So
yes,
in books and stuff, there's so much gaps in stories. I think there's no way a book would be 13 million pages long if you included every single second of the story. You know what I'm saying? And then he walked 15 feet forward, and then he ate lunch. And no, we don't care about that. Just get to the highlights.
And then he put his AirPods in. He listened to Eric Thomas. Have you ever listened to Eric Thomas?
No.
The man's a G.
Is he?
It's very. I
What
know
does he
you've
do?
heard Eric Thomas. He's an inspirational speaker.
Oh, okay.
I know you've listened to him.
Maybe.
But beside the point.
I easily could have. So let's try and start more at the beginning of the movie. Like, let's go through just any thoughts you were experiencing in the theater throughout the process. And I'd like to start this by mentioning the Guardians.
That's fair.
I don't know why I expected them to be more relevant.
I did too.
I thought they were going to be in more than the first 5 minutes. Like, I'm not mad that they weren't by any means. I don't, for some reason, I just thought that they'd be around more and helping.
Well, going into, how we ended Endgame, I think it was very fair to think that Thor's story moving forward is very relevant with where the Guardians are heading. Like, I think it's very valid to think that the Guardians were going to be more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
They were in damn near every teaser, and that
could have been for the
trailers. And it was. And am I disappointed about it? No. Like, it wasn't a as Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It was a Thor movie.
Right.
So, if they would have put them in it, I feel like it would have kind of been taking away from this solo movie vibe that they were going from, which we need, which the MCU needs. We need to get away at least a little bit. We need to train the fans to stop expecting 7 superheroes, 7, 10, 30 superheroes. We need to get them away from that because that's not how it needs to be.
I think something that
movie.
People are forgetting is that phase 1 is complete setup.
Yeah,
it's all set up.
Retweet.
Phase 5 and 6 are probably going to be set up. I'm assuming in some way, shape, or form. I have no idea what their plans are moving forward, but it's going to continue to be set up until they announce what is actually. No, Kevin Feige might have said that.
Well, I argue
big bad or the next Endgame moment will be revealed in phase 5. So I take that back. Actually,
well, I think if we're
phase 4, it's not phase 5. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, phase 4, from what I know, it's damn near over. Phase 4 is over.
Well, Fantastic Four is going to be huge.
Yes, but that's not in phase 4. Like, when is it coming out?
It's the end of phase 4.
Dude, that's not coming out for. Well, maybe I have a little too much liquid encouragement right now.
It's next year.
Okay, next year. I get that. When you think of the time, like our Earth, not Earth 616, the Earth that you are listening to this podcast in, phase 1 was 2008 to 2012. Mm-hmm. That was Iron Man to the Avengers. After that, it's phase 2. And it's like, we've already, from the start of phase 4, we've already gotten more Marvel content in the first 3 phases. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to see, like, it's hard to compare the future to the past. But like you said, I think we've already been introduced to the big bad, which is Kang. And there are many different ways we can go. There's a common theme where we're going. But I don't know, man. It's the MCU moving forward. It's so unique. And I feel like we can't compare it. The first 3 phases, that was trilogy 1. Mm-hmm. We can't compare trilogy 2 to the first 3 because it's so much different.
No, it's different.
Because of the stories. Yes, because of the stories, but also because the world has changed. We've moved to a streaming world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
look with the streaming abilities, well, you can so many more people have access, and there's way more opportunity to be able to do so.
Exactly. And you're making my point. That's what our world has come to. We can expand on these stories so much more and so quick. And that's kind of a that's kind of a heads tails situation. It's good and it's bad because hopefully you don't run out too quick, because at some point you'll run out of heroes at some point, and you'll run out of big bads. But you can't compare the second trilogy, 4, 5, 6 to the first, because it's just so much different. Our world has changed so much since 2008.
Yeah.
We live in a different world.
Things are more relevant. No, absolutely. So let's get back to Thor for a second.
Yeah, we just got
super sidetracked. That was wild. Okay, so something I really liked was seeing New Asgard and seeing how it had developed. First off, shout out King Valkyrie, just crushing it. How did you feel about the Infinity Cones?
I knew you were going to ask that. And I saw something funny. I saw something super funny. It's like, yo, a big purple alien wiped out half the universe. He was responsible for your family vanishing for 5 years. Let's honor him with an ice cream shop. And I saw that because when I saw it in the theaters, I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Infinity Cones. That's funny. And then when he pointed that out, I was like, damn, that's a good point. Like, this dude literally collected these stones, wiped out millions of people's families for 5 years, caused innumerable chaos.
Yes.
Immeasurable chaos.
Let's go be a family and lick an ice cream cone like on a nice summer day.
Let's make something to honor him and the mass weapon that he did to wipe out our family. Jesus. So I saw it originally. I was like, oh, that's funny. That's a cool Easter egg. And then I thought about it. Somebody pointed it out. I was like, that's a good point.
That's
why the hell, man? Why are you going to honor this dude? Like, why are you going to make an ice cream shop?
It's funny you say that, because something that was going through my mind.
That's like a 9/11.
Like, what does the outside world look like? It's way worse. Way worse than that.
Well, yeah, but like in terms, like 9/11 was terrible for us. It's like, yo, 100%. Let's make a twin tower cones. It's like,
no,
why?
Like I would not. No, I wouldn't want to go there.
No, not at all. Your profit, like your business model it's fucked. Your business model is designed after genocide. We can't do that. You can't do it.
No, it's funny you say that, because I was literally thinking kind of along the same lines. I'm like, what does the outside world, like the rest of the world, think of New Asgard? Because not only are they doing stuff like that, but like they are literally from a different dimension. Like they're from Asgard. We're in Midgard, like the transportation of realms. And like people know about this now. They know about the gods and stuff. Isn't that crazy?
Well, do you think, like, I think when you compare it to our reality, there are plenty of people who don't believe in God, all that, which, that's your right to believe that. Mm-hmm. So you think if you're in Marvel, and this goes back to Iron Man and the Avengers, when you see aliens coming out of a wormhole in the sky. So this has been a thing for a while, but you're exactly right. It still rings true now. How do you have these people dealing with their existential crisis, thinking like, wow, I didn't believe in God, but I'm looking up and there is a literal portal to an alien army attacking my world. I think I might need to expand my thinking. So I think that's exactly right. And when you compare it to the rest of the world in terms of New Asgard, I feel like New Asgard might be any new country, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel like you're right. It is a little, people should be weary. You have these people, these heroes that are taking over, starting their own country. They still have to abide by
the laws,
universal law. They still have to, it is what it is.
Well, and the good thing about it is we know Valkyrie, and we know that she will do that.
Yeah.
To an extent, I guess.
Yeah. We'll get to Valkyrie.
Yeah. She was dope.
Yes, but I feel like, bro, yeah, we got to get to Valkyrie because I have some thoughts on her.
Okay. So moving forward, we get Jane back.
Yeah.
little bit of Darcy. That was nice. My theater was just like, yeah, like nice. Like
Really, mine was. I did like it. I
it
enjoyed that.
wasn't like, yeah, it was just like,
I
oh,
was like, oh yeah,
like oh
I
yeah,
agree.
Darcy.
Yeah,
Like
no, I agree. It was cool seeing her
it was cool
because
seeing her, absolutely, because she
I
was great in WandaVision. Like,
she was. That was.
to be
I
honest,
hated
I
Darcy.
hated Darcy.
I
Hated
hated
Darcy.
her
But
until
she was
WandaVision.
until WandaVision. She was
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I feel like, going into Thor, I feel like it'd kind of be out of turn not to include her. So I feel like they put her in a good little role.
And Dr.
I liked
Zelvig.
her.
That was nice.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
nice as
Because
well.
but,
It was sad seeing her
yeah.
go through the treatment. I thought the scene of her talking to that student was funny. Like that's literally
Which
she's getting chemo, and
oh
when there's
yeah,
like a
where
guy
she
next to
points
her
out her
reading
book.
her book, and she's like,
Yeah.
that's me. And he's like, whoa, like I thought
And
that
then
was
she
really
rips,
cool.
yeah, and she
It
rips
just
out
rips
a book.
the page out. Yeah, I thought that was great. His
She
face was
literally
like, okay, like
she explained the book in one simple not experiment, but one simple explanation. She took a page out of the book, she bent it and explained what the book talks about in one, like in a 20-second span. The whole book talks about wormholes and all this stuff.
and it like
And she
dives
said,
into it,
yeah.
obviously.
And she says, hey, I'll explain it to you. She rips it out, bends it, says, this is what I mean. This is our reality. You bend them, you poke a hole. These are wormholes.
How cool would that be? Obviously, that's a terrible situation to be in.
No.
But like, let's just say you're walking on the street reading the book, and she does the same thing. If you are someone who is learning that or interested in that, and like the person who literally discovered it, it's just, hey, I got you. Like, does that make sense?
It's like
They're like,
me
yeah,
meeting Jesus Christ comes up to me and points out the cross, like all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, Jesus, the man. It's like
Yeah,
obviously it's a big difference because he's our savior. But it is it's interesting. You're exactly right. I did like that scene. I thought it was one of the comedic scenes where it felt right.
Sure.
And there were a lot of places where I thought, okay, you didn't need to do that.
No doubt. So then she is called to Mjolnir. I thought that was cool. I really liked the scene where they went back and Thor told Mjolnir, like, promise me, like, no matter what, you will always protect her. And I think that shows a lot about him, man. I thought that got me going a little bit. I was a little sad during that.
Yeah, let's kind of expand on that with the whole consciousness of these weapons.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
because they're not just your standard weapon, and these are forged in a heart of a dying star type of weapons that are enchanted by the mysteries of the universe, by Odin, by literally, like, we don't understand how they work. So I find it funny that Thor was like talking to them like they were like pets.
Yeah, there were a few moments and I feel like I'm being negative. There were a few moments where I'm like, okay, like it Stormbreaker is not going to be jealous of this. Like, to a point, yes, but I think Tyke he took it a little too far. But like, it was interesting. Like, before it got too much, I was very interested in the fact that Thor is calling this weapon. He told Mjolnir, watch over her, and that's why it had this bond with Jane.
Called to her.
I really enjoyed it. I did. I really enjoyed excuse me, I got the hiccups. I really enjoyed that. And just the fact, Stormbreaker's like the new girlfriend, the ex is around, and he gets jealous. So that was kind of where I was like, okay, it's okay to make it one or two times, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, it's an axe. It is a weapon. It does not think. It doesn't feel. It's
I thought
Groot's
Mjolnir
body
was dope as fuck. How it was able to spread apart.
Yes, dude, that was sick.
Sick.
That was sick, bro. The first time I saw it, the shards of Mjolnir shoot out, kill a ton of beings, and then just shoot back right into Mjolnir. I love that. I'm glad you brought that up.
That was
incredible.
so dope. So dope.
We haven't seen that too, like, because we knew Mjolnir up until this point. We had our ideas, and then Jane uses it, and it intensifies that weapon. It's insane. I loved that.
Yeah, man. Natalie Portman looked awesome in the suit. That was really
Not,
cool.
not when she had cancer, but
No,
in the suit, she
in
did.
the suit. Yep.
She
Speaking
looked,
of Natalie Portman, how funny! You heard about the Taika Waititi thing with him?
yes, I did.
That's so hilarious. So those, like, just if we don't know, basically, Waititi asked her if
Waititi is directing a Star Wars movie.
yes, and he approached her saying, "Hey, you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars film?" And she's literally like, "I've been in one."
I've been in 3.
Yeah. He's like,
I'm the
"Oh,
reason.
yeah.
I am
the whole reason for Star Wars."
I am one of the sole reasons for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, that's because of me. Darth Vader is because of me. So I did see that. That was funny. It's
hilarious.
like, Taika, how out of touch are you, bro?
I know.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's funny. That was funny. No, but she was great.
She was.
Another thing people are talking about, and I get this a little bit, her cringiness as well, like the eat my hammer thing. That
I feel like that's just.
I
that's
wish.
just-
No, I
Go ahead.
wish, in my personal opinion, I liked the first one. Just how you said, maybe it's just a little bit too much. And this is one of maybe 2 things that I'm gonna like complain about for this. I feel like I'm trying to keep it as positive as physically possible, because I very much did enjoy this movie. The first time she's like, "Oh, how about eat my hammer?" I thought it was funny. The second
Eat
time,
my shorts.
she should have said something dope when she like made the sacrifice, bro. Like,
well, I
but
think
at the
that
same
might
time,
be,
that's her being her. Like, what we're talking about
Yeah.
right now. Like,
we're talking about a mortal that was just, she, in a literal week span, she was a mortal. She became a god. So she has to go from someone with cancer on the verge of death, becoming a superhero. And with the whole catchphrase, I think that's part of it's a joke, but also I feel like we will never know what her catchphrase truly was. That's one of those moments where at the end of the movie, she whispers it to Thor and he says, "I love it." It's kind of a tender moment, and I like that.
I did like that.
And I can't remember what exactly she said when she slammed the hammer in the big fight scene, but I liked it. It wasn't eat my hammer, but it was something.
It was eat my hammer.
Oh, was it? Well,
yes.
When you said that's what she's like, eat my hammer.
Yeah.
I was like, shoot, damn, Jane.
Yeah.
Up until then, I felt like they were all like a little.
I do got to talk about the post credit real quick, because I got goosebumps thinking
Should
about
we talk about it?
Let's while we're talking about Natalie Portman, bro. I cried, bro. When
Really?
I did, I got emotional, man. I just thought it was very beautiful. The whole process of how she faded in. I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Oh, I thought you meant the post credit.
No, that was the post credit. Was it not?
Fading. No, her fading was part of the movie.
She fades when she gets to Valhalla.
Valhalla.
And Heimdall is standing there, and there's just this beautiful landscape. And I was just like that. I just really liked that she got there. I don't know, man. I got emotional about it a little bit.
That was really cool.
That was my favorite scene of the movie, I think.
I loved seeing Heimdall again.
I loved seeing Heimdall. Heimdall is the GOAT, bro. Speaking of that, did you know all those kids that were captured by Gore, those almost all of them were children of like the actors in the movie?
I didn't, but it makes sense.
I thought that was really cool.
They had an awesome role, which I fucking loved when they went ham. But
yes, dude, that was so sick.
They don't need to be actors to do that. You don't need to have talent.
You
don't have to have talent to sit there and just act afraid.
We would be. Oh no! And even when they go kick ass, like you're just running around, we would have been awesome.
Bunny rabbit.
Yes, dude, that was great. That was it's like it kind of reminded me of like when Odin speaks into Mjolnir in the first Thor movies.
Exactly what it is.
No, I know
exactly what it is.
Same kind of vibes, but like to me that shows that Thor has like really learned from the things that he's been through and the things that he experienced, and like how he was able to pay homage to Odin in a way.
100%.
That was cool. Let's get into Gore.
Yeah. Korg.
Any thoughts on Gore?
I loved him. I loved his portrayal.
Awesome.
Like we've said about every MCU villain in the past, he has a story where you understand why he's doing it, and the fact that he feels this way about his god automatically. He feels betrayed,
dude. How that's fucked, man. Like
that was super fucked, bro. Like I agree, and I'm sorry, but like that god sucks. Like,
well, the thing is, it's not just him; they all suck. No,
for the most part, yeah.
We don't. We didn't get to meet them all, but the ones we were exposed to sucked.
No, I agree. My god's awesome, but dude, like you see why he feels betrayed. All this, he lost his daughter,
right?
And he goes on this rampage because he was called by the Necro Sword to do what he did. So was it all him? No, but it was. The Necro Sword, I feel like, saw that conflict in him, and it was able to overtake that. And it was super interesting because like Christian Bale did an incredible job. I felt enthralled and yet insanely creeped out so much throughout the film. And he killed the role. And you look at Gore and you understand why he's doing it. You add an extraterrestrial sword, amplifying those feelings, kind of cursing him. It's like, man, you can't blame him. And it's all this one god's fault.
So in the comics, that sword is actually tied to the symbiotes.
Yeah, they mentioned symbiotes too, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
Did they
I don't think they mentioned it. The thing is, so the Necro Sword is the sword that Null, like the leader of the symbiotes,
king of the symbiotes,
is what he uses. But the thing is, they didn't specifically call it the full name. If I'm understanding this correctly, they didn't specifically call it the full name, so they didn't technically tie it to Null because they didn't mention symbiote in any way, shape, or form. So it wasn't technically it, but maybe that's a future thing. It easily could be. I don't know.
Did you see Kevin Feige crap on the Sonyverse?
No.
Yeah. So he pretty much said like,
I don't blame him.
He pretty much said like, I told you not to do this, like expand so much, and they did it anyways.
Yeah.
And that's why Morbius. Oh, that's why they
Morbius. We're getting Bad Bunny. What's I forget what he's
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, bro. He's playing.
What is he playing?
He's a luchador essentially. He's like a villain, kind of.
Yeah, like Kevin Feige said, like I told them not to expand the way they wanted to, and they are. And bro, Morbius 0 for 1.
It's Morbin time.
That's like,
bro, I saw a thing came across by like Instagram, and it was like the next 80 sequels to Morbius. It's Morbin time. Morbin. It's like Jared Leto versus Morbius 3. Morbius Strikes Back. Like it was just so. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I gotta send it to you. There's so
Please
many.
do.
It's Morbius into the Morbiverse and just stuff like that. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
When I saw Doctor Strange, someone in the audience screamed out, "You guys ready for Morbius?" And I was like, "Yes," but no. It's unfortunate, bro, because as a Spider-Man fan and like all these associated villains and characters, and with the future of Spider-Man itself, I'm a little worried.
You should be. I should, because it's in the wrong hands.
Easily could be. Hey, let's get back to Thor. Back to Thor.
Sony's gonna reach out to us like, hey, we want you to sponsor us. We're like, yeah, hey, the Sonyverse, totally heading in the right direction, guys.
It's so great. Absolutely.
Now they watch one episode and they'll be like, all right, we can't get these guys.
No, they're too swaggy.
You were you're an idiot, too swaggy. I wish. Yeah, the Necro sword.
That was cool. And then he was able to I don't remember what god that was right then and there, but then
we fraud.
It was. So then we see
Fraud
Zeus.
god.
That was interesting.
His fucking walk got me.
Yeah.
The dude had way too much pizzazz to be one of the best gods of all time.
Yeah.
Like the way he just
Well, he's putting on a show, bro. Like,
he is, but it was just super funny, man.
The Thunderbolt was cool.
Super dope.
That was really cool.
Super dope. The Thunderbolt was freaking awesome. And I'm sorry, like I know Homeboy isn't dead now, but when the dude was, all right, we're gonna get to part 1, which is Korg.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, that and that we'll get to that in a second.
Died for a second. I was like, no.
I know. We'll get to that. When he shot it through Korg, quote, dies, and then he throws it at Thor. Bro, the moment Thor catches that shit, in my mind, the theater didn't go wild, nothing like that. But in my mind, I was like, oh, shit, yes. Korg catches it. Thor catches that shit, and he just lights up like Ragnarok, like the Thor we know, and just throws that like a 102 mile an hour heater right through Zeus's chest. I was like, no,
he chucked that shit,
dude. That was insane because that seeing Thor
kill
like
a god.
We know that, yes, seeing that, but just seeing Thor
the way we know he can do.
Yes, it was incredible, bro.
Like Infinity War Thor.
End War.
Ooh.
Avengers End War.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity Game.
No, but bro, he killed Korg.
When Korg was dying, I was like, there's no. I was like,
no.
How the fuck, Taika? How are you gonna kill your own guy? And it's not surprising that he came back, but as Korg is
crumbling,
Korg's crumbling. I'm like, no way, There's, I didn't cry or anything like that. But I was like, no, Korg, no. He's like Thor in his little Taika voice. Thor, help me, whatever he said. Thor, what's going on? What's happening? All this, it's like Spider-Man when he's talking hilarious. Spider-Man's talking to Tony Stark. He's like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening. Help me. I'm like, Korg, this is not happening.
No, but then he turns around and Thor's like, Corgi, no, Corgi. You're like, throw him down here.
And then you see his fucking face. You literally get his face.
Yeah.
And then he mates with Dwayne The Rock.
I like the stash, dude. He had a mustache.
Who?
Dwayne The Rock. He had a nice mustache.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, you just saw yourself in that. You're like,
that's The Rock. Yeah,
Dwayne The Rock.
That's me.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Korg died. I was like, there's no way.
No, but that was super dope.
How about Chris Hemsworth? How about his ass?
I'd pay a lot of money to look like that guy.
Same, bro. That was incredible. Like in a completely heterosexual way. I looked at that. I was like, damn, that dude's got it going on. Like Chris Hemsworth, he's the fucking man. And just the scene with Valkyrie and Jane, where they're like, no, let's give it a minute. Valkyrie, as a lesbian character for the most part, even she looked at it and she was feeling it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
She's like, should we help? No,
let's give it some time.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
So you did not care for Valkyrie in this, huh?
I'll be honest. Not that I didn't care for her. I look at the movie and, when Endgame ends, she's the king. She's the king. And did she do king-esque stuff? Yeah. Which is what I wanted to get back to about Thor being king. Please do not let me forget this. Please. Valkyrie was I feel like she went back to her Ragnarok days where it seems like she doesn't care. She doesn't do too much.
Yeah.
Did she have badass moments? Yeah, but you're the king. And it felt like she didn't act like it.
Yeah. I liked her look. She looked sick with the blue. That was super cool.
She did. She did. That was a nacho burp right there.
Nice.
Going to what I've been waiting for. All right. When the kids get stolen, we're in New Asgard.
Mhm.
We're in I don't know what not the mess hall. I don't know.
Right.
What's the main hall? We're at City Hall.
Mm.
Everybody's panicking. What do? Valkyrie's trying to do her thing because she's the king. It's not going anywhere. Thor literally steps up in a second and says, "Hey," I don't exactly remember what he said, but he steps up. Everybody is panicking. The whole village is panicking. And he steps up. He uses his voice. He comes from the
gut.
He says, "Hey," and he gives his speech. When he started speaking, everybody stops and they listen. And although Thor is not taking that mantle as king, he's not owning that role because that's not who he is.
That doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to do it.
When I was watching that, I was saying like, man, Thor, that he is the king. That is the people that is the person that people are going to listen to. He steps up, and not that Valkyrie isn't king worthy. It's not that, because I'm sure in the time from when we saw her and where New Asgard is now, clearly a ton of stuff has happened to where she has made it prosper. But in the time of dire need, Thor steps up. It wasn't the greatest speech. It's just his aura. It's the way he's speaking. It's who it's coming from. Thor stepped up, and I was just thinking in my mind, that is the king of Asgard. It is. No,
I get what you're saying 100%. Like, he's still a leader. Like,
exactly. To be a king, you have to be a leader, and that's what he took on.
Any warrior would follow that guy into battle in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Anybody.
Yes.
Just like Cap, just like Iron Man. That's the reason that they were the big three.
Yep. Yeah. No, exactly. Like, when Thor spoke, that is who, when he says it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's who we're going to follow into battle. Like, and again, no disrespect to Valkyrie, because
she'd be right there too. The thing is, she'd be right there too.
Yes, exactly. You're exactly right. She will be right there. No disrespect, following Thor. Mm-hmm. Thor was the one to step up and say, "Hey, kids are lost. We're going to get them. We will. This is what we need to do. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go take on Gore."
I liked seeing the Heimdall's son inherited the powers.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Oh, he's going to be something moving forward too.
I was 100% thinking young Avengers potential, especially with Love, who, that was Chris Hemsworth's daughter in real life, right? That's super cool. With her being, I'm sure, relevant in the future, I'm sure they will get recruited into whatever direction these young heroes are going to be used for.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were sorry. I thought you were
done talking.
No, exactly. Done talking. Point made. No, I agree. It was super cool. And I see people bitching about the CGI. It's like, man, I'm watching the movie. I enjoy it. I was like,
I'm sure dude, that shit's hard, bro. I'm sure
like,
it's hard.
I'm like, shit, Heimdall's son. I'm not focusing on the fact that could the CGI have been better? Probably. Like, when I'm watching the movie, that's not what I'm focusing on. It's like, shit, Heimdall's son has the same stuff. And all I'm thinking about is, shit, we got Heimdall Jr. here. We're going to see some awesome stuff.
100%.
And it's like people nitpick, man. It's annoying. It's annoying. I'm done with it.
Yeah. So anything else stand out in particular, as far as with gore, with anything about love, anything about Heimdall's son?
Not those
We
specific.
mentioned it earlier, but I thought the fight with Gore was really cool with the kids fighting. That was super dope.
Dude, that was
I'm
lit.
curious.
I made this exact noise when the kids started going ham. This exact noise. Ooh, that exact noise. Whatever Thor says, like may if they believe and they have the will that we can win and that we can get home, give them the power of Thor temporarily.
Yeah.
And then they just start going ham with whatever they can find of stuffed bunny rabbit. They just start going ham. And if you told me that's what I was going to see in Thor Love and Thunder, I did not expect it. But I'm sitting there in the theater very quietly going, oh, yo, this is fucking dope. Like, that was lit. I liked it.
Yeah, man.
They
So
went
I have a question for you, and just bear with me for a second. So we know Gore comes back to the light in a sense, and just says like, as his dying words are, take care of her, right? I want to know if there's going to be any repercussions with love, with her coming back to life. If anything, we saw that in What If, and what can happen to the multiverse if people are, brought back when they're not supposed to be. So I assume that's going to be relevant going forward.
Well, you think of like the very short scene we had with her and Thor. She says, "To hell with you, demon," or whatever she says.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was nuts. Like, I don't want to say this little girl went to hell, but she
could have.
she experienced something. She said, "To hell, demon, go to hell." I was like, whoa, I did not expect that. And the fact that she was so quick to use her powers against Thor to try to, from what it seemed, send him to hell. I was like, dude, like, you're exactly right. We don't know. And I'm sure it's going to be explored moving forward. And how can we, like, we're getting into such uncharted territory when it comes to heaven, hell, demons,
Well,
all this stuff.
it's above all that. What I think we're realizing in MCU is that everything that everyone believes in whatever capacity it exists within this universe.
Yeah.
It has to be. Literally, we saw a council of gods from all religions, from every aspect.
Where was Jesus, man?
I'm sure.
Where was he? He was there, man. He should have been front and center. I would love to see Jesus in the MCU.
Yeah.
I would love to. Where's he gonna? He'll show up.
Just something. So I think the last thing we really dive into is while we're speaking about the gods, Hercules.
We got a lot. Yeah, Hercules, the man, coming after Thor.
Cool. And I know they're like kind of rivals in the comics from what I understand. So that's going to be cool to see him kind of bounty hunting Thor.
What I like is that Chris Hemsworth is nowhere near done.
No, honestly, I was going into the movie thinking he's on his way out.
Might die, but
he might die 100%.
Yes, but seeing some of the interviews leading up to it, I was like, okay, he's not going anywhere. And I remember talking to Rosemary because she hasn't seen it yet. We got to see it together. I told her, I was like, yeah, Thor's going to die. And I was like, I'm just kidding. He's not going to die. She's like, is he? I was like,
is he?
No, the interviews have said not. And then I started thinking, like, what if these interviews are bullshit? So I'm having an existential crisis going into the movie. Like, holy shit. I didn't lose like Sam Wilson is Captain America. Let's get that straight right now. Sam Wilson is Cap, but I lost Steve Rogers' Cap. I lost Tony Stark as Iron Man. I can't lose Thor. I can't do it.
No.
So I'm like, holy shit, am I going to do this? Am I going to walk out of this movie theater and want to,
Yeah. Well, what's good about Thor is
jump
he's
off the
bigger.
Clemeny Bridge.
What's good about Thor is he's bigger
Yeah.
than
Well, yeah, he's
the
a
earthly
god.
heroes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there's so much uncharted territory there to explore, and he's the gateway to that. What are you just gonna kill Thor off and then just like do a movie about gods and just expose them to the different ones? No, like we need Thor to get comfortable with everybody else, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thor could be around until Carbonite Convos the third is around for another 2 generations. Like he could still be here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Wow. I never thought of
So
that.
something else.
What if our kids take over Carbonite Convos? Wow.
Yeah.
Deep.
Never know.
What if
Deep.
what?
So
I know.
one other thing I wanted to talk to you about was
Alec doesn't want kids. I'm kidding. Bro.
what?
Alec just give me. I'm just kidding.
It's out of left. Anyways,
he
what was I
only
saying?
likes
Oh,
adults.
shut up. When Gore was dying, oh, my light's going out. When Gore was
no.
dying, when they shifted like this universe, the godly figure that they were showing when they
Of
flipped
eternity.
of eternity, but when they
Yeah.
flipped it back upside down, when like the whole exchange was happening, there was another figure in the water with that same look, and it had like flowing hair.
Yeah.
It was I was
gotta
like, what
watch
was
it now.
that? Like, what was that? That was weird. I just did the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. That's it. There it is, right there. Like,
There it.
yeah,
You said it.
yeah.
No, I got it. I can't say I did notice it, so I'd have to rewatch it to notice.
But
man,
yeah, I definitely want to see it again. There's a lot that I'm like, it's hard to recall because it's been like a week or more since we've seen it.
Yeah.
So like, I definitely wanted to see it again so that I can. You always catch things that you missed the first
digest it.
100%.
It
Maybe
just
try to
makes
go
me-
on a cheap day. That'd be nice.
Yeah, dude. What is this ultimate power? What is it like? Eternity. When I think of eternity, I'm like, in my mind, there's nothing above eternity.
No, and I think they did good job portraying like what it would look like. Like
Like the
I
universe.
thought it was, yeah. Like I thought it was really cool.
Damn it, Rudy.
I know, right?
Yeah, no, I saw that and we're getting into Eternals and Celestials,
Right.
which we saw Celestials.
We
We
did.
saw them.
Did.
It's like, wait, I don't know. It's too far above my pay grade. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
It's nuts. It's
So
wild.
we definitely have a lot to look forward to here. Do you have anything else really to get into? I think I have all of my thoughts for the most part, but if there's anything,
Let me think back. Be patient with us. I don't know. When I look back at it, I think it was awesome to see Thor just as Thor, I think it was awesome to see him where he was, just see him back to where he entered the MCU. So I don't know. It was, as somebody who always really liked Thor, seeing him in Endgame be a fat bastard, but still be able to do what he did. It was good to see. Yes,
Let's kill him properly.
It was cool to see him. Oh man, yeah. Oh, you're getting me emotional. Nothing will beat Endgame.
Nothing ever.
Nothing in this world. No, I don't have too much. I'm sure there is stuff we've missed, and obviously, with us being big Marvel fans, we'll be on an episode next week. We'll be here next week talking about it because we would love to give our Miss Marvel recap once we finish the series.
We're 2 episodes in right now.
Yes, we are. We kind of took this as a very big break to catch up on sleep, but Alec and I have been watching them and we need to catch up because first 2 episodes, I like it. I like it. 98%.
I saw some leaks.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes, better than anything else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm sorry. Don't give me hope, but I don't know. I don't see that. But like we've always said, critics hate it. well, critics hate things, and Alec and I find something that we enjoy. We find a way to be positive about everything. And so far in 2 episodes, we've liked it. So I have nothing but high hopes for it
Sure.
moving forward
Absolutely.
in this this tail 67% of the series. But yeah, man,
Math, quick
Thor
math.
Love and Thunder. If I could say anything, screw Rotten Tomatoes. I don't give a shit what they say. I've never had more disrespect.
I don't
for
think
them.
they're relevant in anything they've ever done ever.
They're not. Like in Rotten Tomatoes, I hope you're hearing this. We're nothing compared to you, but you guys don't mean shit. Like, you're pathetic. I hate Rotten Tomatoes. They suck because I liked Thor. Everybody that I've talked to about Thor has liked it. And the thing about it is the Marvel fans that I know that happen to have not seen it yet, they've asked me, like, you saw Thor? I said, yeah. They're like, what'd you think? I've heard nothing. I've heard a lot of bad stuff. I'm like, who'd you hear it from? Who did you hear it from? Oh, online. Yeah. Nip it in the bud. I don't give a shit what people say online. Like, you got keyboard warriors that will say anything. It's like, man, Thor Love and Thunder. You see Thor back at it. You see a nice old Marvel movie where it's about one character kicking ass, beating the villain. Even though we like the villain and we get it, that's what we got. So that's what it is. So, that's where we're gonna leave it. We liked it. Thor: Love and Thunder. If you haven't seen it, I'm surprised that you made. Yeah, I'm surprised that you made it through this end because spoilers. But yeah, please go watch it. Go watch it a second and third time. Like, who's rotten? Who's a rotten fruit to tell you what movie to watch? But I don't know. Everybody, we really appreciate you tuning into this episode. I have lost track. I know I've been saying the wrong episode number on every podcast episode for like the past month. So I'm not gonna, and Alec is fighting with his dog right now.
I gotta go.
I'm not gonna pretend like I know what episode we're on. We're in the 76 to 78 episode range, and we'll get the episode right on the description. But thank you for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's anything that you want to see from us moving forward, please let us know. We have a lot of stuff coming out every day in terms of Easter eggs, collection videos, everything. We hope you keep tuning in, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Alec is struggling.
I am. I gotta wrap it up, Doug.
It's really distracting me, but we really appreciate you guys. We can't thank you enough. But until the next time that you're on the channel, like always, and I know we talked about Thor and not Star Wars, but like always, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you.